Start now.
Okay, ma'am. Uh, Good morning, everyone. So, a warm welcome to all the esteemed members, students, and guests joining us today. I, Vedant Vedua, Treasurer Pune Vikasa, and I am truly delighted to be your host for this enriching session of the series on grooming organized by Pune branch of Vikasa of ICI. This series, themed Grace in Words, Power in Presence, is all about helping us evolve not just as future chartered accountants, but as well as rounded professionals ready to take on the world with confidence and clarity and charisma. So today's session scheduled focus on crucial professional skills, that is email and professional writing. In the digital age, our words often make the first impression. So, and it's essential to communicate with presence and professionalism. So now moving further, I would like to introduce our today's speaker. So we are privileged to have with us CA Meenal Kale ma'am. So an accomplished professional as our faculty for the day. She brings with her deep experience and insights that I am sure will benefit each one of us tremendously. So it is my honor and privilege to introduce an accomplished professional in the field of finance and accounting, CA Meenal Kale ma'am. So a chartered accountant since 2014, Meenal Kale ma'am has been practicing since 2015 and brings with her wealth of experience from both the corporate world and independent consultancy. After graduating with distinction from Pune University, she sharpened her skill at Marks Life, where she worked in the ERP environment like SAP, managing accounting and reporting function. So since then, she has successfully led audits under various acts, handled direct tax assessments, supported project funding, and served as a finance control for corporates. So Meenal ma'am is also known for her work in drafting SOPs and implementing efficient processes, a true asset for any organization aiming for operational excellence. So now, not taking much of the time, would like to give the charge to CA Meenal Kale ma'am to take this wonderful session ahead. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Vedant. Thank you so much for the brief introduction.
Yeah.
Yes. And thank you so much, Pune Vikasa, for inviting me to conduct this session. And thank you so much for letting me in. So now I will share my PPT. Just let me know once, Vedant, it is visible.
Okay, ma'am.
Vedant, is it?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. Okay, we'll start with today's topic then. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, who is joining here. So, let's have a discussion on today's topic, which is email and professional writing. As I understood, students, many of you are currently undergoing through your articleship training, and might of you will join very shortly. So, let's discuss today's topic, which is very much relevant for every one of us, which is email and professional writing. So, students, what generally we do first when we start our office work every day? Yes, yes, absolutely correct. What we do is first we check the email inbox, office email inbox, and we see there are so many emails which are unread, not attended. So, say suppose we have 20 emails which are unread or unattended. Then how do we identify which email is to be attended first or reverted first, which is a very important email, and the rest can wait? Yes, absolutely. By checking the sender's details and subject line of the email, we can get the idea which email is to be reverted very immediately and to be attended at with utmost priority. So, the subject line and the sender details are very much important to easily understand which email is to be very important and attended first. So, does that mean the email subject line is a short summary for the reader to revert with the priority? Yes, of course. And here plays a very important role for the crafting of email. Why I'm using a word crafting of an email instead of drafting an email? Could you think about this? Yes, absolutely correct. When we say a crafting of email is itself an art. So when we craft an email, that means we use a business language, business English rather, to be very specific. So when we refer to craft an email, we use a business English and we draft a formal email. So generally, we do not use a normal or basic English, which is not a business English as such considered for any formal emails. While writing a professional email, or when we are writing to any professional forum, we use a business English. Okay. So when we talked about crafting an email, we understood what is business English. So let's have few of the examples where we can understand what is business English as such. Okay. So let's have everyday examples to understand these concepts. Okay. So if we want to discuss something in between us, we generally say, let's talk about it. But in business English or formal emails, we never use the word talk. We say, let's discuss. Or we say, make sure that you will do this. No, we will not form the sentence as make sure. Instead, we'll say, please ensure. There are few of the examples, such as instead of saying give me, we'll say or we'll write as please share. So might be if you want to have some contact details. So instead of writing give me the contact details, we can say, could you please share the contact details of the person to get in touch? Or instead of saying, tell me why this is very important. If you want to ask something to someone as a team member, you cannot say as tell me why. You can say, could you please explain this to me? So these are the few examples where we distinguish between a business English and formal emails, and rather than day-to-day English. So as we discussed, the email writing is an art. Yes, we discussed that your email speaks before you do. As before even you meet someone, your email serves as your digital handshake. So even I meet anyone in person, my email talks about me, as well as my personality as well. It reflects my professionalism, the communication style, and the attention to the detail. As we said, a well-crafted email set the tone, build credibility, and create a lasting impression. What do you mean by crafting an email by using a business English, or how to craft an email? It should have the characteristics as it should be crisp, it should be formal, warm and engaging, and creatively expressing your words, which speaks volumes before you do. It should convey the professionalism and attention to the details. So, when I want to say that, tell me something more what is mean by crafting an email. So if you want to ask this, How will you ask? Would you say, would you write as tell me something more? I think no. We should write as could you please elaborate or put a light on it that what is crafting an email? So that is the difference as we discussed. So just think about the situation from the reader's perspective that to whom you are writing an email is sitting somewhere far remote from you and you want to communicate with that reader and if you want to convey your message to the reader. So by using all these techniques, that is how to craft an email by using a business English, you can actually help the reader to make your message understand through your formal email. So as far we discussed how the email should be like this. Yes, the beauty of well-crafted email. So formal emails not only help the sender come across as more capable by showcasing strong communication skills, but also saves the reader so much of their time by only surfacing the information relevant to the reader. Also, not only does it help you as the sender come across as more capable by showcasing your strong communication skills, but also saves the readers so much of their time by only surfacing information relevant to it. It is a art of a finely crafted email, like a symphony of words, tone, and timing that, when done right, makes the reader pause and appreciate the elegance of communication. So we have discussed the background of email, formal email rather would say, and the official communication. Now let's have the structure of the email. Okay, what does it contain? How we can structure the email? There are various parts to any formal emails. Yes, here it is. So the structure of the any formal email, it contains by and to whom, that is the sender and the receiver, the subject line of the email, the salutation, main context, conclusion, that is how you conclude your email, the signature of the mail writer, that is sender of the email, and the attachments to the mail. Okay. So we'll go one by one and we'll try to understand how the structure plays a very important part to complete any formal email. So tell me, students, just discuss about this. When we want to write any email to any official email, uh, what do we generally do first? Yes, correct. We first go to our email inbox, we open a draft, and we start writing. But what should I know before I share any email to anyone? Yes, absolutely correct. Am I supposed to know to whom am I sharing the email and the reader's email ID? So my first part, or you can say the structure starts itself by whom the email is sent, that is the that is the sender's email ID, and to whom the email is sent, that is the receiver's email ID. So to put it very simply, we have three parts to by and to whom. So to whom is to the person who am I supposed to send an email directly, or who is supposed to answer to my email, who is supposed to revert to my email. The receiver's end, CC. The first we have seen to. The second is CC, that we called, maybe called as a carbon copy. The carbon copy is something, someone who needs to know or who needs to be informed that yes, this email have been received, but generally, many of the times, the person you marked or the reader you marked in CC is not supposed to answer your email. So, for example, let's understand how this to and CC work. So, I want to share a requirement list to the finance person from an MNC. So, what I will do first, in two, I will mark the person as a finance team member with whom I want to share the requirement list. So, I will mark that person in two, and his immediate reporting manager or his team members whom I know that those are working with that person will mark those in CC. Okay, so what happens here when I mark the person in CC? Yes, they are very well informed that this email ID is received from the sender, having the subject line that is a requirement list XYZ, and this is supposed to be answered. Yes, it seems we have seen it many times. Generally, CC is used to escalate the things as well. So even if I don't mark he's the ultimate reporting manager or someone who is in authority, but if I want to escalate the things exceptionally, I will mark those in CC in the email trail. Okay. The above is not necessarily to be followed, but when you work in a corporate environment or if you work with MNC clients, please keep in mind the hierarchy, the positions are very much important when you work with the international companies. So, marking the emails with their positions, hierarchies in the organization, and keeping the readers to whom you are keeping into or to whom you are keeping in CC, it plays a very important and crucial role when you are sharing the formal emails. Also, there is third option that is BCC used very exceptionally. So whenever you use this option, be very careful. This is blank carbon copy. So let's understand again with the definition how we have divided the receiver's email ID into two CC and BCC. The two we have seen that the meaning of two is to whom the sender intends to send an email, who is supposed to answer to our email. The CC is carbon copy. The carbon copy means the same email being sent to the other individuals with their email IDs, and those are visible to everyone in the mail trail or mail loop. Blank carbon copy means the names and email IDs of the BCC receivers is not visible to the recipient of the email, but the email IDs marked in 2 and CC are visible to the BCC receivers. To keep this in a very simple language or simple words, please remember that whenever you mark someone in BCC, the BCC receiver the BCC receiver is able to see whose email IDs are marked in 2, whose email IDs are marked in CC, but the 2 and CC email IDs are not aware that someone is marked in BCC. So I hope the first part of the any formal mail structure, that is by and to whom, is clear now. Okay, so many of the times we see that we generally do observe the email IDs and how those are structured. So we see that the email IDs contain the nicknames, so much special characters, so much of numbers, different numbers, and too much of personal information. Sometimes it happens that if we even found it difficult to read the email IDs of the sender or to even just note down the email IDs. So what generally we see about this email ID, how to create an email ID. Okay, that the email IDs are not professionally created. Means what? When we say the email ID is not professionally created, generally it is understood that some or many of the special characters, too much numbers, and your email ID will look unprofessional. The Just think about the situation when your email reaches to the reader and when he see his inbox that your email has received. If you use your nickname, too much special characters or so many numbers into the email ID, it might look that this is something spam and might not be reverted by the reader on priority basis. And also, as we discussed, it doesn't look very professional. So nickname, too many personal details. So rather better not to use that in your email ID. Your email ID must be simple, professional, and with not so many personal details. So we can have like our email IDs that name dot surname @ the extension. Okay, generally we do observe the email ID structure. Those are professional, are structured this way only. Okay, so we'll move to the next part of the email structure. That this is very important. This is a subject line of any email. So when we want to revert to any email, we see what we see first when we receive the email in our inbox. We see that who is the sender first, who has sent an email, and what is the subject line. So before I open any unread email, I do get to know the idea what it is in text. I mean, what the email body contains might be. So I do get to know it from the subject line. So we generally do called it as a tagline as well. I mean, we generally used to say that keep the tagline like this so that the reader can get the idea that what we want to say or what we want to communicate. So the subject line must be very effective. Okay, it should be effective rather. Subject line is a key to revert, as we discussed. For example, I want to share a profit and loss account for maybe for financial year 24-25 and which is draft. I am aware that I'm sharing a profit and loss account, which is a draft version and relating to financial year 24-25. But so now tell me, just think about this situation and imagine how should be your subject line or tagline so that the reader will get to know immediately once your email reach to the reader's email inbox. Yes, the subject line should be like this. The name of the company, then you can put the space or you can use the, I mean, more of the space. We can say as a draft, P&L, financial year, that is FY 24-25. So as soon as your email reaches to the reader's inbox, he will immediately get to know what you have shared and he will decide basis on the priority whether when to revert on that email. So we generally see or generally used to borrow this approach that we please remember that whatever is in the text, keep the top on it. Okay. So we see that many of the times the subject line contains some star marks, some special characters, or some exclamation marks. So generally this should not be used. We can avoid this to keep the subject line as much effective as we have. Also, most of the times we observe that many of the people have the habit to write urgent, urgent, urgent. Each email subject line, they have the urgent in capital letters and then they start writing the subject line. So when we want to mention that it is urgent, please use the same only when the email is actually very urgent and the same is the situation. So as we conclude, keep your subject line crisp, easy to understand, and simple. Also, nowadays, you are also aware, and we generally do check the emails on our mobile phones. So, think how the subject line could be so the reader can get the message idea in one go or in one look. So, your email subject line should be synced with your email text or the email body in the main context. Generally, we keep the email subject line not more than 7 to 8 words. And here we can summarize how the subject line should be. A good subject line can entice people to open your email to read, and it's a key to reward, as we discussed. Carefully crafted, the subject line will reduce the time of the reader and the quick reward. Yes. Very specific, precise, crisp, and more exact subject line to give the reader the clear idea about the email subject in one go. We found out that emails take too much time to read the same and get the clarity of the subject, what exactly the sender wants to convey to us. So this leads time consuming and might be in some cases not up to the point, or can say conclusive reply, and it creates a long email trail, and that email trail just goes on because the subject line itself is not in sync with what the sender wants to convey through its formal mail. Okay. So this is all about the second part of the structure. Till far, we have seen the by and to whom, that is by whom the email is sent, to whom it is sent, how should be the subject line, how it should be effective. We can make it effective. There are do's and don'ts about subject line. We have discussed this in detail that I mean, it contains that keep your subject line as much possible as concise. Do not make it too lengthy with subject line. As we discussed, it should not be more than 7 to 8 words maximum. We should be very clear and specific what we are writing in a subject line. Sometimes we see that the subject line is only something like someone put as urgent, important, that much only in the subject line. So it gives the impression that it is very much incomplete, and it creates the confusion in the minds of the reader that what it is exactly the sender wants to convey to us. Okay, yes. The third thing about the subject line is the third point in do's, that when we want to personalize the email, that see, suppose I'm sending an email to 4 person marking in CC, and 2 persons marking in 2. But I want 1 person to be attended my email first on priority basis. So what generally we use, we write as kind attention, Mr. XYZ. So when my email reaches to the group of people to whom I have marked in 2 and CC, the reader will get the immediate idea from whom am I expecting, or to whom am I requesting rather, to revert the email on priority basis. Yes, in do's, as we discussed, we need to mention the urgency of the matter. As we discussed, we do not overuse urgency. That we see too many mails contains that too, I mean, the mail contains and too many times that act now, or it is very urgent, very important. This type of emails can make the recipients tune out. Okay. Most of the times we see that the email subject line contains the capital letters. All letters are in caps. So many punctuation marks, that is exclamation marks, or some like special characters. Just use these only as and when the case is required or the situation may be. Just avoid using all caps, excessive punctuation marks without any reason. Just don't use those. So this is all about the subject line. Okay, so now we have seen to, by and to whom, the subject line of the formal email. The third part of the any formal mail structure is very important. This is salutation. Okay, the salutation means I'm greeting someone, okay, to whom I want to send a message. See, how generally we salute to anyone to whom we meet. Yes, we say hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon this way. Okay, but when we meet in person, now here, as we discussed, we are doing a digital handshake. So we see on many of the professional platforms, we generally, when we start writing an email to the corporates, or when we work with MNCs, or when we work in MNCs, we generally start the email saying hi Minal or hi XYZ. We start with hi. We never use the word hey like this. I mean, this is not something a day to day language, or it is not acceptable as on a professional forum. So we use as hi. Nowadays, we are into faceless assessment eras, and we need to communicate with so much times through email with tax authorities. In that case, we must remember that we should not be using hi, hello, but instead of that, we will be using as a respected sir, respected madam, and then we have to start our email, main context rather. So for salutation, as we discussed, when we work in MNCs or corporate culture, we use hi. Most of the times we can use as dear also, it is okay. We use, as we discussed, we also use respected sir, madam when we deal with the tax authorities or someone who is into authority. So this is what about the salutation is. So directly we address the person to whom you want to send an email. For example, if I'm writing to my team and there are so many persons to whom I want to salute, I will just simply put as hi team, hello team, or dear team. Okay, or I will just simply put as hi all. But this is all about when I know the designation of the person to whom am I sharing an email. But most of the times, it happens that we don't know the designation of the person whom I want to send an email. So first, what we can do is we will try to find out the designation or the position to ensure to whom am I sharing an email. Or we, if that doesn't work, we simply write as hello sir, hello ma'am. Okay. Yes, as we discussed, mostly when we communicate with tax authorities, we use the salutation as respected sir or ma'am, whatever it is. If we want to address the group of the people, yes, we discussed, we generally write as hi all. When you want to mention the time zone, that is good morning, good afternoon, good evening, while writing this, be careful that you, as a sender, and the person who is going to receive this email, you both are working in a same time zone. Because many of the times we have this habit, and the reader is someone remote, that when you say good morning and he checks his when he receives his your email, there might be a good evening. So that seems to be very odd. So when you are not sure about it, don't write it. Just simply start with saying hi. Okay, so this is all about the salutation. How you are going to salute to the reader of the email. So till so far, just summarize what we have seen so far from the structure of the email is by and to whom, the subject line, the salutation part. So now we'll come towards the main context, that is the email body. Okay, so uh, when we want to write someone very first time, so see, I want to write an email to the reader a very first time. I want to share my message with him. How should I start with? It's altogether a new mail trail, as we are not know each other at all. So what we generally mention, how should we start? start in this situation. Yes, just imagine the reader is not aware about who is the sender, and he will simply receive your email in his email inbox. So yes, we'll start as, hi XYZ, I am Meenal Kale from finance team, and this is with regards to subject XYZ. Okay, so first we start with the salutation. We'll introduce ourselves, that is my name and from which department I'm writing, and the subject which I want to convey in the next paragraphs. So when you mention this, the reader uh, be prepared that who is sharing an email to me, the identity of the sender, and the subject which the sender wants to convey. Now, I want to again send an email to the same person, but as a, you can say as a top-up email. Okay. So, do you think that again my introduction is necessary here? Yes, absolutely. Again, my introduction is not related. It might irritate the reader because now he has sufficient information about me and the subject which I want to convey. So just keep the mail trail intact is the only thing we should make sure that the email trail should be keep intact, and we are not supposed to share our personal information again. So, I mean, when I say personal information, that is my business introduction, business information. So, first time when I'm writing, or after a long time when I want to write, there was no email in between exchanges, and after 2 months, after say a month's time, I want to revert on the same email. You can simply start with, hi XYZ, how are you? Or you can say, hi XYZ, hope you are doing fine. But these taglines, that is, how are you, or hope you are doing fine, this is sometimes, or after a long break, or you are writing at a very first email, introductory email, those looks good, or those are acceptable generally on business platforms, but do not use it very frequently or in an excessive way. Uh, Yes. Now, we'll come to the, this is the main part. The main part is divided as introduce yourself. Now, my introduction is completed. We have discussed how we want to introduce ourselves. So, say suppose in email, in the main context of that we called as a mail body of any formal mail, if suppose I have 4 5 points, okay, and I want to convey the message about that 4 5 points, what am I supposed to do for the reader's clarity as well as me as a writer? Yes, if we have the points in our email, we need to first organize the content point wise, or just simply have the pointers with explanations. Okay, so the first point, the tagline of the first point, and the explanation. The second point, the tagline of the second point, and the explanation. If you put your email in this way, the reader in just one go or one look will understand what you want to convey, and he will immediately revert to your email. Just one thing to remember here, please do not be too much concise while you write the main content. Okay. Simply just do not say that this is the requirement from this team. Please share. No. When you write any email, just check it as a reader's perspective before you share any email. So me as a reader will not aware that what require, I mean, me as a reader, I'm not getting your message clearly. What exactly do you require? Which period do you exactly require? The first thing is who you are sending an email. What is your position? What is your name? in what context you want to communicate me, what exactly information do you need from me. So is there any report specific, is there any something which I need to work upon, or is there something which is we have already discussed and am I supposed to work? Is there something am I supposed to work but you are giving me the inputs? So whenever you write an email, just as we discussed, just read that email from the writer, from the reader's perspective, and then only share your message. Okay. So most of the times we generally do revert or do share any information on formal emails. We only get the revert as received, or we only get a revert as acknowledged, or only okay. Okay, that is the only thing written. When we share any documentation, we share any working, the revert we get as okay. So, do you think that it is overly concise? So, in business emails or formal emails, just as we discussed, please do not be over concise. Too much concise, rather, we can say. Instead, you write like this. If you receive any documentation, any data, any revert on your email, just you can simply mention as, "Hi XYZ, thank you for the revert. We have received the data." That is what is called as a sufficient reward. Okay. Or you can simply mention as, "Hi XYZ, thank you for the reward and we have received your inputs with thanks." Okay. So also when we, as we are discussing about main context or email body, we have mentioned that we should not be too much concise, but the same time we should be ensure that email should not be too much lengthy at the same time. It should not be too much concise or too much lengthy. Otherwise, the reader will find it some kind of boresome or too much essay kind of thing. So be precise, be up to the point, at the same time, be crisp. So we'll see what is main context we have discussed. We will summarize about that. Yes. Opening paragraph, we called it as main context. We should outline the main idea first, the reason of the mail, as we discussed. Rest following paragraphs should give the relevant details about the opening paragraph. That is, my main context should be divided as my main idea, the reason why I'm writing an email, and the explanation further. Okay. So I will introduce myself when I am connecting someone at the very first time. I will briefly explain the subject at the beginning itself. Be clear, concise, and up to the point which you want to convey. Organize the contents point-wise in paragraphs. We have discussed this in detail. Each paragraph should have only one point of discussion. Yes, this is very important. We generally see the emails, they do not have any paragraph at all. They have just started and finished. So we couldn't, as a reader, get the exact idea how many points are there included in the email. I mean, on how many points am I supposed to action upon? And or it might be like that, how many points the writer wants to convey to me as a reader. So what generally happens when we have the message context only drafted in one paragraph, that we have to go through the email again and again and again, and then we need to form our own conclusion that yes, the reader might be want to say like this, and we just blindly reply to that email because of the because they do not have any paragraph or there is no point wise discussion mentioned in the email body. Yes, the very important part is checking grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Yes, too many punctuations are generally not recommended. Only where the situation warrant or you are writing in that situation, then only use the punctuation marks. Generally, me when I mean, generally when I share the emails on a formal platform or a business forums, I generally avoid using the question marks. I mean, I personally don't use the question mark in my emails. Okay, so we discussed, let's have an example here about the main context, that is email body of any email. So students, let's have an example to understand what is main context or email body, how and how we can draft in day-to-day business. Let's have an example where we previously had discussion with our client on a cost budget, say suppose, and we have identified the variances in that discussion only. Now, the discussion concluded last time that we have to work on behalf of client on that particular cost budget assignment. And we want to share that working with the client, and we need the inputs from the client on that working. That is the example subject where we want to draft an email. Okay, so imagine on this point, how should be my main context, what it should contain in my email body, as we discussed. Yes, my email body should be like this. Salutation first, that is good morning, sir, or just say hello, sir. As we are writing first time, hope you are doing well. As we discussed over last call, I'm reaching out to discuss the cost budget and share relevant details regarding the same. I'm not introducing myself here. Just keep this point noted. As I mentioned that we had a meeting previously with client. So client is aware that who is sharing an email and at what position. Okay. So I'm just referring my last call, which I had a meeting with the client. So I have mentioned here that I'm reaching out to discuss the cost budget and want to share the relevant details regarding the same. Okay, so now here I'm clear that what am I referring to, and I mean the last meeting I want to refer to, and what I want to share. Also, I'm mentioning that based on our previous discussion, the variable cost is a key factor to consider. I'm also referring my discussion conclusion, what we had last time with the client. To streamline the process, please refer attached budget working and variance analysis for previous financial year for your easy reference. We have discussed this, so we are sharing this with the client. Please let me know if you need any clarification or additional insights, and I would be very happy to assist further. Kindly looking forward to your thoughts on this. So now uh, we have see how we have saluted to the client, how we are referring to our past discussions, what we had with the client, and what is the subject next coming in the email body or the main context. So in this, we have divided the message basically in 3-4 paras. Okay, so my first para is very clear. My second para is referring what I want to share with the client and what it is exactly relating to which period, on what context I have worked and what I want to share with the client. That is we described in a second para. The third para is about what am I expecting from the client, what I want the client to uh, give his opinion about or give me the inputs on that. So this is the third para. And the fourth one is, yes, once you are complete with this inputs, or once you are complete with your verification, just looking forward to your thoughts on this. So the client might set a meeting or set a call, or like this, you can close the main context. Okay, you can convey the message in this way. Now, we'll move towards the closing para of the formal email. That is a concluding para. Okay. So till so far, we have discussed about the main context, that is email body, the where I want to convey my message to the reader. The second para, I mean the second part of the email body has two parts. The first one is I mean three rather, broadly: the salutation, the main context, and closing. This is third. Okay, the concluding para. The concluding para, where I want to conclude my statements or conclude my suggestions, what I have written in earlier paragraph. Recommendations to address the issue or the problem. If am I supposed to recommend, then only just put your recommendation. If it is asked, okay, specifically asked. Suggestions on the timeline for resolving the issue, delegating responsibility to selected individual. This is again just mention when it is asked that please give us the timeline to resolve these issues. Or if you are in that position or authority that you can delegate the responsibility to selected individuals, this should be mentioned in a closing paragraph. Just as you started on a pleasant note, just keep this point in mind, that you also should part with well, that the closing para should be that much effective as you are writing the main context. Yes, we sign off on a friendly note, that we just write that thanks, best regard, best wishes, or generally we used to write that feel free to reach out if you have any doubts, or please do not hesitate to reach out, or you can reach out to the below contact details, like this way. The closing paragraph should reinforce your message and prompt action while ending on a professional and courteous note. Yes. So again, we'll go that example where we had a cost budget discussion and we found out the variances. This example we have taken to understand what should be there in main context in the email body and what should be there in a closing or concluding paragraph. Okay. So we have discussed the first part. The second we are discussing is closing or concluding paragraph. Yes. How will you draft the closing or the concluding paragraph here in this example? Okay. I will simply write as thank you for your time and consideration. As we met to the client, we have discussed all the details, and that's why we are and to take it further, we are writing this email. Okay. So I'm saying that thank you for your time and consideration. I appreciate your insights and look forward to your response. Please let me know if there is anything else I can assist you with. Okay. So we have started with a good note. We are parting with at a good note as well. I have put in my signature here. We have a separate slide on signature, but we will just go through it and we just understand in the next slide. Thanks and regards, Mr. Whatever it is, XYZ. My designation in the company, department where I'm working, the location and location of my department, my organization name and contact details. Okay. So till so far, we'll just summarize whatever we have seen, whatever we have discussed rather. Yes. The email structure, we have seen by and to whom, the subject line, the salutation, the main context, we have just discussed conclusion. Now, we'll move forward to signature. Okay. How the email should be signed. I mean, what generally we do follow for the signature line. Okay. In any formal email, many of the times we see that only it is written as person's name and there is no thank you, or there is no surname to the name, or there is nothing. I mean, no designation, no organization, no contact details of the sender. So, I mean, imagine the situation that you are receiving the email from the sender and his email ID is also not clear from where he is sharing an email, who is sharing an email with me. As we discussed that his email ID contains too many characteristics or a nickname, or the numbers like that. And there is some message in the mail and concluding signature is only thanks XYZ. So, students, do we really respond to such email? Most probably will know because we are not aware or we are not sure who is sharing this, who is the sender or the identity of the message sender, and really am I supposed to revert to this mail. So here comes a signature line, which plays a very important part in your email structure. So the signature line ideally should have be like this. First, thank you or thanks and regards you can put. Most of the times it is written as best regards, but thank you and thanks and regards, it is acceptable. Then your name, your complete name, your designation, okay, your position in the department. Uh, the department, now when you work in MNCs or corporates, there are departments, some finance department, bank clearing department, cost department, like way. So say suppose I'm writing my signature line. I will write as thanks and regards. My name is CA Minal Kare. My designation is finance controller. My department is finance department. Location, Pune location. My contact details, that is my email ID of my organization where I'm working for, and my phone number if it is allowed only. Okay. Organization name, yes, we have discussed that. We'll write that. It contains rather in your email ID generally when we are working in MNCs, corporates, or generally we have in CA firms also as an organization name in our email ID. So generally we do not require to mention it separately, but if at all you can. We see that most of the time, professional emails contains the sender's own philosophy as well. Okay, we observe that many emails contains that statements like reduce the paper use, or some kind of statements are there mentioned below the signature line. But in formal emails, professional emails, uh, it is like that. We just, if possible, just avoid using that because you are addressing to the professional forum. Okay. So this is what about the signature line is. It, as we discussed, it includes the signature, name, designation of the sender. It may include email address, telephone number, convenient for the recipient to respond. Always use your full name. Yes. Your contact information should be mentioned in the signature line, such as designation, company's name, phone number, email ID, website address. Yes. Providing this information establishes a connect apart from creating a good impression. Yes, till so far, we have completed the email structure till signature line. We'll just summarize. Okay. Yes. The next and very important is attachment. Okay. Mostly, when we share some workings, when we want to share some workings, when we want to share some documents, reports, we attach it to the email. Okay. So the first, what we generally observe is there are attachment to the email, but it is not named properly. Sometimes the name is blank, that is new Microsoft Excel is attached as an attachment. That is new Microsoft Word is named and attached as attachment. Uh, just think about, as a reader, do you get the idea what the sender wants to send as an attachment? What he has worked upon and what is the working exactly it relates. In that case, you need to go to the email, you need to download that attachment, and you need to open and go through the attachment. Oh, okay, this is something what the sender wants to share with me and he worked upon. So instead of that, just ensure that whatever you want to attach, have it properly named, that file should be properly named. Okay, so for example, if I want to share the draft profit and loss account for financial year 24-25, okay, What will I use as a file name? Generally, we write it as draft underscore profit and loss account underscore financial year 24-25. If you want to add, you can add the company name at a start, that is, keep it in a short form, and then write the next further these words to the file name. What it will, what purpose will it serve if you rename the attachment in this way? The first thing is your attachment is as per exactly what you have mentioned in your subject line. We have discussed that. So your subject line and your attachment are in sync. Okay. So the reader will immediately get to know once he received the email. Oh, okay, this is the subject line and this is the attachment. So all aspects, the reader will get the idea what exactly the sender wants to send me the message. If possible, have date to the working. If suppose if you have the idea that this working will get this will shared most of the times. Revised versions will be shared for any working. Have some date stamped on the name of the attachments. Say, suppose I'm sharing a draft P&L, financial year 24-25 underscore, dated as sometimes month written first or date written first, whatever style you follow, 10/05/25. Okay, so I'm sharing the version of 10th May. If I need to suppose on the draft P&L again tomorrow, I will rename the file as the first word I will keep same. I will rename the date as 11/05/25. So this will help me as a sender to keep the track what the attachment is the recent one and which am I supposed to refer. And the reader of the email will also be clear at his end. Oh, okay, this is the recent file which am I supposed to refer. So sender and the receiver will both be on the same page and avoid the confusion. Yes, most of the times we generally, this never happens frequently, but it happens sometimes that we write everything nicely and we mention that please refer attached, etc., etc., and we send the mail. And as soon as we send the mail, we just realize, oh, I just forgot to attach the files. Or sometimes we get the reward from receiver that it might be that you have forgot to attach the files. Okay, in this situation, how will you revert to that email when you forgot to attach the files as attachments in your email? But you have mentioned that you have attached the file, but somehow you forgot. How will you revert to that email? Yes, just imagine. Okay, let's discuss that if you missed out any attachment, just simply you can put hi XYZ in continuation with the earlier email. The same is attached. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. So what till so far we have discussed about the attachment, attach the required documents and give the list in the email with file names and summary of the data content in the attachments. Yes, if you are attaching more than 3-4 files in your email, so just put the list in your main context and you can summarize what exactly you want to attach. Okay. Yes, most of the times many of the senders do forget to mention in the main context that they have attached something. So if the reader haven't gone through the main context and he see the attachment, he might not be aware that what it is exactly attached and what is the purpose of the sender for this attachment. So it is better to mention that please refer to the attached for your convenience, or you can mention as for your convenience, we have enclosed before the list of documents, or just simply alone, you can mention as please refer to the attached. Okay, or the files are attached here with for your easy reference. This is all about the email structure. Yes, we have discussed this. Your email speaks before you do. So make sure your email sounds very professional. We have seen what is the difference between professional email and unprofessional email. Just summarize here. Your professional email is more towards polite, formal, and courteous. When we called some email as unprofessional, it is too casual. It is written too casual. The language used is sometimes rude or demanding. The professional email is well organized, concise paragraphs, and clearly stated with a call to action. The unprofessional email is disorganized or cluttered text and unclear or lacking direction. When we write professional emails, have proper grammar, should be no typos. Unprofessional email contains too many errors, careless wordings. The professional email is more toward clear, relevant, and informative, whereas unprofessional email is written as vague, misleading, or missing some wordings, attachments, or etc. Professional email, yes, of course, it contains a proper salutation and a closing. Unprofessional email is just written as abrupt. There is no greetings, no openings, no salutation, no closing paragraph, just written as it is. Yes, also, why we discussed all this email structure in detail is our email is why it should be professional when we are writing a formal email and addressing to the business forums. That our email is kept in black and white, okay, because it is in black and white and it is used for longer period, and basically this is in writing, so it can be preserved by the organizations. So when we are writing a formal email, we should as far as possible, we should stick to the email structure and each part as we discussed. Okay, so we'll move to the pointers. Okay, there are a few pointers. uh, there are few pointers as those are basically common for all the subparts of the structure, and we generally observe this. So let's discuss about the a few common pointers for any formal emails. Mentioning as opening statement in the email body. When drafting an email, avoid generic cut and paste phrases. Okay. Most of the times we do get to know that this is a cut and copy paste is used. If you are not sure, if you are not aware about that, just simply go through what we have discussed. Tailor your opening para based on the recipient's situation, based on who is the recipient and what is his situation. Say suppose the person to whom you want to share an email, and he is your team member, and casual yet professional greetings you want to greet the person. As we discussed, you can just simply put hope you are doing well. If you are very much sure and aware that someone, your team member who is joining from the vacation and he's returning to the office from the long vacation, you can just simply start that hope you had a refreshing break. But please be careful when you use this such kind of phrases. The person to whom the position of the person to whom you are writing is plays a very important part. So just generally blindly, just don't go by this. So if you only you are sure about the position of the person and the situation of the receiver, that is position of the receiver and situation of the receiver, then only use this. Otherwise, simply better to avoid this. Yes. When sending a follow-up email after a discussion, always provide context by referencing the call or the meeting. We already seen this and discussed this in our example. This helps the recipient quickly recall the conversation and set the stage for the email's purpose. Okay. So the reader will get to know, okay, oh, okay, when you are referring to some call or the meetings, he will get the idea, okay, that meeting, what we have discussed, and this email is towards relating to that meeting or that call, and this is the further extension. Okay, so mention this. The second common pointer is yes, we have some examples. If the discussion happened over a call, begin with as following up on our call earlier today or as discussed in our conversation this morning. Or if you want to reference some previous meeting, then you can just simply put as further to our meeting on a date or building or something that we had a discussion in the last week. After the greeting or transition, that is smoothly into the main subject of the email. Okay, the next second common pointer of any professional email is this is generally applicable to all professional communication. Rather, we can say it's not only about writing an email. It is to use the understandable and concise English. So it is good to use the nice vocabulary, but your English can be professional if it is easily comprehensible. When we say comprehensible, it means it is easy to understand, clear enough to be grasped. Please remember that a well-worded email tells a lot about you. We have discussed. When we say concise, that means uh, we can express ourselves clearly, briefly, but by only using the necessary words. So whenever you are using any English word in any formal communication, make sure that the meaning of the word when you are just copy and pasting from it somewhere. Okay. Yes, there are few words as we discussed and can be called as phrasal verbs. By using this, you can make an email more professional. We discussed this. So we have an example here. Say suppose I want to cancel any meeting. Just imagine how will you write in any formal email that you want to cancel some meeting. Are you going to write something like, "Hi, just cancel this meeting"? Is it the formal way to write? Uh, Simply no. Just you can write as, would it be possible to postpone? Just would it be possible to postpone our meeting at a mutually convenient day and time? Please let me know. Okay. If you want to meet for a particular topic, subject, and if you want to discuss, you can make it more professional. Let's catch up for the profession. Let's catch up. Okay. Let's catch up for the discussion on the date and time at the place. Please ensure the availability of the concerned team members. If anybody responded you quickly, yes, if you want to revert from anyone and someone responded you very quickly, then what you will write? How will you respond to it? Yes, you just simply need to mention appreciate your quick turnaround. Fragmented emails. As we discussed, that sometimes there are
Minal ma'am?
okay. So, yes,
Minal, your screen is off and we can't listen you.
okay, just thank you for calling. I will just represent Miss Leela again. Just let me know
Your voice is too break.
Uh, whether I'm audible?
Yeah, ma'am, you are
Hello.
audible.
Yes, please let me know once my screen is visible.
No, ma'am. Your screen also not visible.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, now it's visible.
I think it's
Yeah,
visible. Okay. So, shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am. You can continue.
Yes. So, this is all about fragmented emails. Sometimes we said two direct languages used. So when we use to direct language, the writer seems to be very rude, and when sometimes it is not intended to be so. So avoid this language, the direct language, and we must be polite and not to be bothersome. Mr. Sound, you are working on a team and giving an equal opportunity to the reader as well as create a win-win situation and be like asking an opinion in the person who is in front of means the reader of the email. So avoid to direct language. The next point here is pointer is yes, we have you want to finance to work on budget. How we do it. Okay, with regarding to our last discussion, we have at a preliminary working for the expense budget. Would add, you could add your input. Let me know convenient time for a brief discussion. Looking forward to positively receive the final working by the end of the tomorrow. Best regards. This is the example how we can form the sentence and use the wordings. The next thing we have already discussed it is that we if we forget to explain the attachment of we or if we forget to attach the files I mentioned, please find enclosed. How to deal with this? This is the brief detail, but we have discussed this in detail earlier. So next slide. Yes, this is very important. Before you share final your many of the time see that is, but it seems realizations can sometimes alter the intended meaning of the message, especially if the AI misinterprets the context or applies a correction that basically shift the meaning of the email. So we recommend to go back, check the grammar, check clarity and the overall intent before you send the email. Professionally, specifically to say we want to share any email in a professional forum, we must have proofreading before you share any email. So to minimize customer context and yet important is time the first time we the when they receive any to change to because how many people is see or two. So when we just click on reply to all, we in the email was the content is not shared. So just reply reply to all. Uh, we that this email
Hello. Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am, but
So,
your voice is bit lagging.
uh, uh, okay, let me check the internet stability. Uh, is it okay? Audible?
Yeah, it's audible, but it's lagging.
Uh, okay. Is it clear now, Vedant? Or is it
Yeah, it's still the same, ma'am.
at this last uh, is
Ma'am, screen is not visible. Hello?
I checked.
Your voice is break. We can't hear you.
Just give me a minute, please. Ma'am, is okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, as discussed, uh, reply to all, and instead of drafting a new email, we can just reply to the same email to keep the mail trail intact. Summarize the key points. If we receive any original email where the email points are not summarized, those are scanned, we can simply summarize what the writer of the email wants to convey, and we can just
Ma'am, again, your screen is out and your voice is not received.
ma'am, is it audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Now you are audible. But the
Yes, yes.
screen is
The
not
last
visible.
slide. Yes, this is the last slide. Okay, I will reshare the screen. Is it visible now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I continue. This is the last slide only. I have shared the screen. It appear or two.
Okay, ma'am. You can
Okay,
continue then.
we'll maintain. Yes, yes, we can, yes, we will continue. Maintain the consistent subject line. Changing the subject line can break the thread and make the tracking the discussion difficult. So just maintain the consistent subject line. The next important is looping in and out. So if in original email, say suppose there is someone new which I want to add, but he or she is not in the original email trail. So I will just put simply as plus adding an email ID. Okay. Or say suppose simply I will put it as deleting this email ID. when you are introducing someone into the ongoing email trail and make others to make aware of it, we can mention as let me add XYZ, and the XYZ will look after the finance related discussion further. So this is just to inform the existing team members, those who are in the original email trail, that this some email ID is newly added in the madam, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are now audible.
Yes, yes. So, yes, this is all about the email, official email, or we can say formal email from my side. So, this is the email structure and few common pointers we have discussed. So, this is all about today's presentation, ma'am. So, I just want to say thank you. Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Hello. Yes, yes. I just want to thank you, the Pune branch of Vikasa, for giving me this opportunity to have a discussion on this topic today. And thank you for joining this session. So thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for that insight.
Vedant, this is all from my side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am, for that insightful and extremely valuable session on email and professional writing. So, your practical tips, clear explanations, and engaging delivery have truly made this session a memorable one. So, we now understand how powerful the right words can be in building our professional image. So, I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to CA Sachin Minya sir, Chairman, Pune branch of Vikasa, CA Pradnya ma'am, Chairperson of Pune branch of Vikasa, for their constant encouragement and vision in organizing such developmental initiatives for students like us. So a big thank you to all the participants who joined us live. Your enthusiasm and active presence are what make this session successful. So this was just one part of our series on grooming, and we look forward to seeing you again in the upcoming session with the same energy and curiosity. Until next time, stay sharp, stay professional, and as always, keep learning. Thank you and have a great day. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vedant. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.